So what happened between Richardson Hitchins and JAMAINE Ortiz? Richardson Hitchins, the last couple weeks, has been going back and forth on Twitter with Ortiz, talking about, I signed this, I signed that, the contract has been signed, the fight is gonna happen January 31st, and all of a sudden today, we see the breaking news that JAMAINE Ortiz is gonna be fighting KEYSHAWN, the businessman Davis, former WBO champion in the lightweight division, making his debut at 140 pounds after the controversial stripping of his bout and everything that went down in the locker room with Nihir Albright. And the first thing that I thought to myself was, what happened, Hitchins? Richardson Hitchins drops this on us and says that he signed his part of the contract, that things got switched up in the last minute. Things got switched up in the last minute. I've got a bigger, better opportunity coming up, and I can't wait to announce it. He says specifically that it's a better fight. And I think to myself, who could it possibly be that was better than being on the co-main event of a Teofimo Lopez versus Shakur Stevenson fight, January 31st in New York City, against JAMAINE Ortiz, who, yes, I know maybe JAMAINE Ortiz might not, in your opinion, be as big as a Lamont Roach Jr., as a maybe Frank the Ghost Martin. It's kind of close. I think, in my opinion, I think JAMAINE Ortiz is a bigger name than Lindolfo Delgado, okay? Now, the reason why I say those names is because recently we have seen Richardson Hitchins talk about a couple opponents that he wants to face. Before we seen him, signing all the contracts and talking about fighting JAMAINE Ortiz, we were seeing him on an interview with Brian Kelly, The Last Stand, talking about fighting early 2026 against Lindolfo Delgado, the undefeated Mexican from Nuevo León, Mexico, right? 2016 Olympian, who currently is the WBO Latino super lightweight champion of the world. And we see the JAMAINE Ortiz thing play out. We seen the Frank, the Ghost Martin call-outs. We've seen Frank Martin say that he would absolutely beat somebody like Richardson Hitchins. Easy work, ain't nothing. And I say to myself, who is next, dude? Hitchins. I just want to know who it's going to be. If it's a bigger, better opportunity, then does that mean that we're going to be seeing Richardson Hitchins versus Frank the Ghost Martin, who, yes, competed for the WBA lightweight championship against Gervonta Davis about 1.5 years ago and just made a spectacular return. Spectacular, in my opinion, beating Rances Barthelemy better than anybody that has ever faced Rances before, right? We're talking about Gary Antoine Russell. We're talking about great fighters. Robert Easter Jr. We're talking about good fighters here. And what Frank the Ghost Martin did to him was absolutely insane. I would say it was one of the best comebacks of the year for a fighter that we haven't seen in a long, long time of 2025, all right? Now, it could either be them, Lindolfo Delgado or Frank the Ghost Martin, or is it going to be against Lamont Roach Jr.? A possible fight with Lamont? I don't know. He's still at 140 pounds, just fought against Isaac Pitbull Cruz. I know Isaac Pitbull Cruz would want to get that rematch. But when I look at the rankings and I look at the 140-pound weight class, I say to myself, who is a bigger, better fight than, and a bigger opportunity than defending his title against JAMAINE Ortiz? I know JAMAINE don't have the biggest name, but who is it? That is the question, my friends, as we get the breaking news that KEYSHAWN Davis is making his return against JAMAINE Ortiz. It's absolutely very interesting. Richardson Hitchins still claims that he is fighting still early 2026. And he can't wait for the fight to be announced, man. Honestly, I can't wait to see who it's going to be. We know for a fact it ain't going to be against Gary Antoine Russell, right? Sabril Matias, Dalton Smith, they got a fight coming up. It ain't going to be against any one of them. So who is bigger and is a better opportunity? I can't wait to either be shocked in excitement or say, I knew it. It could have been one of those fighters, but he said better. That's why I'm only mentioning some of the bigger fights for him. Okay? Absolutely interesting stuff, my friends. This is the MMA Boxing Addict channel, and I'm out.